everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. So it is it's after December. That's all I know. I don't even know what the date is anymore. But I have holidays this week and I'm getting started on a new journal. So I just wanted to kind of pop on for a little bit and show you what I'm working on, because I did a little bit of work over the holidays here and there when I had a little stitch of time. So the next journal that I want to work on, I'm working on another journal that's a custom in the background, but this one is the one that I want to work on sort of next, here. And it's this old book, Amos Judd by J.A. Mitchell. And it's just a lovely little book. It's a nice little, nice sized book. So what I did was my kind of technique that I use when I want to cover, sorry, my dog is back here making weird sounds. When I want to cover up something, I typically will trace it on an acetate or something. Then I'll use that acetate to then be able to trace the shapes. So this is going to be like a journal that is Moth to a Flame, The Legend of Moths, a Moth fairy tale, Moth kind of related. And these are from some of the digitals that I created for my Patreons in the 12 days of concept art that I gave away for this year. And so I was really happy. I spent a lot of time in Procreate coming up with this kind of keeper of moths type being. And I want to put him on the front, and then these little moths here, I want to put them at the bottom. And that will cover those areas. Then on this spine, I have a bit of work to do. So you see the wear, it's right around where mainly this is. So I'm probably going to cover the top side of it at minimum. I'd like to keep this little bit at the bottom here if I can. And it's nice because it kind of looks like two sections anyhow. So I can do something here and hopefully maintain that. I mean, it won't be a heartbreaker if I can. That's not incredible or anything. This is really incredible, but yeah, so that's the plan. So what I want to do, I think, is gut the book. So I'll just give you a quick look at some of the images here, and I've kind of cut them out like how I think I want to probably use some of them. This is not final by any stretch of the means. I just kind of start this way, cutting out the things that how they inspire me, what they inspire, printing things out in different sizes. I also cut up this piece of scrapbook paper that's really beautiful that I want to use in here because I just need some inspirations around me to get started. So I'll show these to you real quick. Lots of darker colors, some iridescent kind of colors, these are something I'm working on. So another thing I want to do for this journal, so I don't know if you can see, this is all in like a knitted texture, this moth and the lantern. I want to knit a couple little moths to hang off the spine of this book to go along with these knitted moths. So probably be working on that, although I just packed up all of my yarn into another room. That's going to be fun to navigate, but I think I still have some stragglers because, when you own yarn, it's everywhere, and it finds its way into the gaps and the spaces. And I know there's more yarn in this house than the studio, so I will get to that. Maybe work on it a little today. And then these ones are like cross stitch. I'm going to use those for a couple of center pages in the book. Then I picked out some papers that I want to use in this book too. So I found this. I may or may not leave it this color. I may coffee dye it, I'm not sure. Some really beautiful paper from Simple Stories. And a couple pages of this alcohol ink paper in the colors that I'm really kind of going for in this book. This is from 49 Market. It's their vintage artistry collection. These are some of the little fussy cuts. I need to punch those out. So I'll pop that over there. And then I've got a couple more pages of the 49 Market here that I think I'll put in here because they have moths on them, and just beautiful pages. And I found a little a poem I want to put in here. called Muse in the Overgrowth, and then a page from Inked Paper Art on Etsy, and then some nice coffee paper, dissolved National Geographic pages, some of my hand-dyed marbled kind of gray paper, and then some of the grungy eco-printed rust paper. So that's kind of where this is going in terms of papers. But the first thing I need to do really, I think, is just tear apart the book and maybe organize my ephemera a little bit into this. Oh, I've got all my pins in here. I made my son a quilt for the holidays, and he quite enjoys it already, so that's good. So I've got all these pins here. I'm just going to take a quick minute to put this away and organize. Alright, so pins are put away, mostly organized here. I did the little punching out of all those little cutouts, and now I'm just going to put all of my ephemera from my, I need those, so we're going to use those today, from my kit here. I'll put it all in here, and these scrapbook paper cutouts I'll also plunk in here. Just get it all out of my way. Then we can begin. So the first thing I need to do, I think, is get this book taken apart. Toronto City Union, The King's Daughter and Sons. I got this book at a thrift store. It's from 1901. There are some illustrations in it, so I just want to take a quick look. They don't look like they're very high quality to me, like the condition of the illustration. They definitely don't go with my theme. Not that that's always important to me. I often will include an illustration from the original book if it's just beautiful. That one I may include. I don't know. I'm going to take this whole thing out though. See if I can just pull it away. And I can. Alright, so now we have the book here. We'll set that aside before I start to pull that beautiful spine out. I don't want to spend a lot of time going through here. I'm not too... These papers I always keep for backing things because the paper quality is really nice. I'm not too chuffed on the actual book plate of this one because it's... You see, like, the quality of this illustration is not that good. It's very pointillistic and almost blurry, so I'm not overly concerned about keeping that. I'm not really concerned about maintaining the Amos Judd aspect of the book either. You've got to be a little bit, you know, tough in your decision making with things like this. So that illustration does not, I don't need it. I think this book's rather dramatic. So it's like lots of pictures of people fainting and having an emergency, sort of an 1800s emergency, or, you know, here we are in an attic, locked in an attic or something. What's this one? Well, that one's actually quite nice, but it doesn't go with my theme. I'll hold on to it maybe. I mean, it's sort of, again, it's just the quality. Like, her face is a little... It's nice for the fact that it's old, but that's about it. Okay, now we have this old man riding a rocking horse for some reason. We can go without that. Rocking horses have been a bit of the bane of my existence this holiday. So my daughter is 6, and in her Santa kind of letter, her wishes, you know, that things that she's asked for, one of them was a rocking horse. And I was like, no. You know, there's so many reasons I didn't want to get it, and I didn't get it, and it's like I struggle. I'm very much like a struggler with not making every single dream come true, and I'm working on that because it's important when you're parenting to not like give your kids everything. Oh my goodness. So that was my thing this Christmas. I was like, we're not doing a rocking horse for many reasons. One, she's 6. I think she's a little old for a rocking horse, and it won't get used all that much. Also, I have nowhere to put a rocking horse. We already have a trampoline, like a fitness trampoline in the living room that they use constantly, and other toys, and with the new dog, and we're working on, you know, really getting her new room put together so that the dog doesn't chew toys and stuff like that. So, you know, it would have been a very bad decision to get one. They're also quite expensive, and, you know, if you're not going to get much use out of it, it just becomes a wasteful consumable, right? So that's beautiful. I will keep that. So that was me putting my foot down to myself that no, we're not doing that. So since the present opening, she has not even asked about it. Doesn't even remember, but she did ask about it like several times before, you know, the holidays, and I was sort of like, oh geez, I'm gonna have to, you know, have a big girl conversation here to make sure she understands why I didn't get this thing, so, or why like it didn't, you know, get here, but it's all good. But anyways, remember why I was talking about that other than the old man on the rocking horse. So I'm just getting rid of all of the bits and bobs out of here, like all the dusty old book kind of stuff. I'm not going to obsessively remove this. I figure if it has stayed down for, you know, over 100 years, I don't need to like, that's actually perfect. That's what you kind of want when you clean out, you know, your spine. So I will put a new spine liner in here. And as you can see, we have, you know, this one spot here that we saw is see-through. It goes through the book right there. So I think before I add the beautiful bits and bobs to the front, I really just want to work on the repair of the book. So I'm going to do that. But before I do that, I think I want to maybe get the measurements of my book, write those down, and maybe size my papers. Which could be boring for you, I don't know. I'm just not starting this yet because I don't exactly know what I want to do. But maybe I'll create the spine liner for it, which I think will be essentially the width of my ruler, almost exactly, ever so slightly smaller, so that's good. But let's just measure this and see. So the height of our pages can be 7 1/4 by, I would say 4 and, would I go 3/4 maybe? Yeah, like 4 1/2 to 4 3/4. I like to come somewhere in between there. I do like to leave about a 1/2 inch. And I did not write that down. 4 1/2 by 7 1/2. All right. Let's write that down on something right here. Just take this little piece of paper. I only need this note for a couple moments here. 4 1/2 by 7 1/2. Yeah, so I had a nice holiday. My husband got me an Audible subscription, so I'm happy for that because admittedly, like, I'm an avid reader, but I just haven't been reading much more than kids' books for a while now. Most of the time, the free opportunities that I have to read, I'm reading to kids, so it's like a little challenging. So these pages I'm hoping I can get actually 2 pages out of. And then I want to decide, I don't think I want to put a whole new signature or a whole new spine on this book, so I think I will make for this book 3 signatures. It's going to be challenging. I want to just make a really fat spine for it, but I also don't. I'm like, come on. I make so many huge books. I want to make a little bit of a smaller book. Okay. So I can probably, with this page, I want to keep this top circle that you see that was made with a rusty can lid because that will look like a moon. So I'm going to trim just a little bit off the top here so that the moon will appear high in the sky on that page. And then the rest, we said 7 1/2, so just a very tiny bit from the bottom. And then here we have 4, I said between 4.5 and 4 3/4. Let's go 4.5 with these. I know that it will end up being 4.5 because I often get too close to the edge and then I have to go back and like fix it. Retrim my papers again. Yes, so my parents yesterday managed to get up here. They were supposed to be here on Christmas Day, but they had Snowmageddon where they live, like crazy, crazy snowstorm. And my dad he is a faithful shoveler of, well, he has his own like ride-on kind of snowblower. So he's sort of the savior of his village with the snow removal, and he's very serious about it. So like, did not want to like abandon the town. But also it was so serious that there was an emergency order in place, and they actually completely closed the roads in the county that they live in. So they could not have come if they wanted to, because it's a highway offense to drive and it wasn't safe. And like right now they're trying to recover approximately 180, I think, cars that were abandoned around the county from people who got stuck and had to just get out of their car because there was no help coming, because there's not much you can do in that kind of weather. So yeah, it was a lot. So what do I say, 4.5? Okay, now I think I'm going to stop at 4 maybe of these pages. Maybe I'll do 6 actually. I'll do 6 in total. Yeah. And I'll set this one aside. I don't know if I'll use it in this project or something else. I'm gonna get a little bit of rust on my hands, I think. Okay, 7.5, 4.5. Here we go. This page I think I want to go over with a baby wipe. I have a feeling that this one page I forgot to, when it was wet, I forgot to give it another rinse. The other ones I definitely did, but this one I can tell there was heavy rust on it. So I'm just going to go over it. It's not like a big deal at all. This is part of the rust dye process, and a lot of people actually don't rinse their paper. I don't typically. It just depends if there's any heavy rusting on it, and then I'll just kind of go over it really quick just to remove. Like that side doesn't need anything. Nothing will come off of those. This one I'll just give it a quick kind of, because there was something that was lying there that was quite rusty. So, I mean, it doesn't even remove a whole lot, you know, it's not a big deal. And now nothing will shed away, so we're good. Okay. Actually, I should do this one too, just while we're here, because it's the other half of that paper and I can see the rust there. So I'll just kind of clean it off. You just want to get any particles that aren't sealed on the paper. It's almost like dust, you know, rust dust. There, see? Not a big deal. Okay, and then I'll maybe just set that aside again because I don't need it right now. Keep one of these out for my poor dry hands. I don't know if all of you are experiencing the same thing, the winter. I've honestly just like gone to putting, I use Moroccan oil in my hair, and I found that the Moroccan oil company that I buy my hair oil from, they now make a nice, like, just a body, like, and face oil. And I know it sounds a little bit like you're putting oil on your face, but it's actually wonderful. I was getting a lot of, like, dryness on my forehead and a bit of, like little red sort of marks here and there. And I'm like, I'm looking a little worse for wear here. So I started using that, and I'm feeling a lot better. My skin is much happier. Sometimes with the wind and the dryness, even though we do keep humidifiers running in the house at night, with the window cracked, still just gets quite dry. I have a friend who has wonderful skin, and she's about 80 years old, and she was a farmer, and the thing that she did, she swore by it. I don't necessarily know that I would do it, but I understand why she did with the life that she lived as a farmer, like a goat farmer in the cold. She would put Vaseline actually directly on her face, like a really thick application of it, and then she would go out to her work day in the cold and in the wind, and it would really protect her skin from chafing, and like she swore by it. I mean, I'm not so into like petroleum kind of products on my face, but like I get it. Okay. So how many do we have of these? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do one more. So that'll mean there will be 2 pages of both the eco print paper and this gray marbly paper that I made, and each of the signatures. I just think they're very mothy kind of picture or paper. Now we'll keep all these scraps and do something fun with them. Maybe I'll just kind of set them in a little pile with my ephemera because they're fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have an extra page of this I'll set aside, or a couple extra pages actually, because I may end up using more. I love this page, this National Geographic paper. It's a real pain to make, but it's beautiful. And then a couple of these fun coffee dyed papers. My kids are quite spoiled for Christmas. I tried not to get too much stuff because I'm trying to invest more in experiences than I am in like stuff, because I'm trying to really minimize how much stuff I have. But they definitely got some stuff. My daughter was happy because she got this Super Mario game she really wanted. She got to play it a lot yesterday with her grandma, which was funny because my parents have never been video game players like when I was a kid, but somehow she got them both to play yesterday, and it was quite funny because they've never played video games in their lives, and it's hilarious. Alright, now this poem that I want to keep in the book here. I need to work on this page a bit to strengthen it up. Now 4.5 is going to get me, I think, just, yeah. Hopefully both sides. Whew, I took a chance. Okay, this is the longer, yeah, this is the longer edge. 7.5. I'm going to cut a bit from both ends just to keep it a little more even, I think. Yeah, that looks a little nicer. And then the back side of this I'm actually going to cover in something, and it might just be this plain paper. Maybe I'll just do that right now while I'm here. Okay, so yeah, these go together. Find my glue stick here. Yeah, but I'm feeling really good that the holiday, like that the Christmas holiday is over, that the visiting holidays. I don't do anything these days for New Year's Eve. I just kind of stay home and maybe watch the ball drop with a glass of champagne and my husband and the kids. Not doing much. This goes on this side. I've had my days of New Year's Eve parties, and I'm quite happy to not have to get out of my jammies these days. And get dressed in something with sequins. It's like scratchy. Oops, there we go. This is very delicate old paper. It really wants to be cracked. So we'll give it a good drink of glue, and then it will hang out for much longer with this backing paper here. Okay, here we go. Be my alarm. Where is my phone? Ah, there it is. It's under my watercolors. Okay. Let's trim this page. Being so much. I'm just going to use scissors. I think it doesn't like the glue. There we go. Much easier. Yeah, and our new dog Rex is home from my parents, now fixed and quite healed up. Still got some stitches that will dissolve on their own from his neuter, so he's currently howling at something, probably asking to go outside or playing with my little dog Toasty, who's still not fully affectionate with him yet. It's a high, he's on a very high pedestal, Toasty. He's been our only dog for quite some time. He's a Chihuahua, and that in itself is a feat that he will have to fight to get along with the new dog, because Chihuahuas are quite, unless it's another Chihuahua, they're quite like, I own this house. So his tiny throne will not be overthrown. I'm going to add some washi here just to seal down in one more way. And this is a good washi that I don't have to add glue to. It's a good sticky one. Right, so there's the poem. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a little break. My husband brought me breakfast because he's lovely. Okay, so now these scrapbook papers. Actually, what I should do first, I think I will just cut the length of 7.5. Okay, I'll just set that aside in my scraps here. Now, this whole length needs to be 9. So what I need to then decide is, do I want to have one page? Yeah, I think I'll make a fold, like a tip in from this, just on the one side, so I have a nice large kind of tip in. There's my bone folder. I'll just use my wooden ruler here, that's fine. There we go. And the other half this, I will just fold here. And I think that's how I might treat all these papers because they're really gorgeous. And I don't want to cut too much off of them. But then of course I do use the rest of the paper for making ephemera, so it's not too stressful. Okay, so we will go to 7.5. Yeah, see that one I lose the moth, but I guess I could have cut it the other way. Oh, that's okay. I'll use it in the ephemera. And here we will go to 9. I'm hoping that today, being after Boxing Day, that thrift stores will be open again. Not so I can shop, because I'm not actually shopping, but so I can donate more stuff, because I've just been doing so much stuff. Oh my goodness. So these pages are journal cards, but I'm trying to decide, do I want to use them as journal cards? You know, like nothing specifically says I must. They are quite nice, and I think they would give me some nice extra kind of relevant fodder and background. So maybe I will. Now can I cut, let me cut the branding strip off the end here. Do that first. Look how pretty the back of it is. That's nice. Okay, then I think I can cut this in one. Yeah, the lines going this direction are not shifted around, but the other direction they are. Okay, so this one I think I'll leave almost like a bookmark, but it might be a little too tall, and I might cut noted off. Yeah, because that'll be 7. I'll keep that for something else. It just doesn't really fit with my whole, it's not a field guide, right? So, and I'll stick these in my ephemera, which is over here. So I got this little stash of Christmas things that I didn't even use this year because I did not get around to doing any kind of a Christmas reel. I did my one Christmassy journal, the creepy Christmas journal for Release the Craft in, but I didn't make any kind of a more traditional Christmas journal. So I get to put away the little stash that thankfully stayed quite little. Do that today. I got these nice envelopes that I'm going to keep it in. So I will have 1 envelope's worth of Christmas stuff. That's my rule for myself, because I don't make a ton of Christmas, you know. Therefore, I don't need a ton of Christmas. This one, and I think I'll cut apart this one too. Yeah, so they're going to be great kind of journal card fodder for like decorating and making things. Then while I'm here, I might as well get rid of the branding strip on these because I know I'm going to use them in the book. And I probably will use this as a pocket. This one I think will become a tag. I just have to make sure it's not too big. It's actually quite perfect for a tag. Then this one we get rid of the branding strip as well. Come along now. There we go. This will also be a pocket. Oh, did I measure it the right? Actually, no, it's still too big. It's got to come down to about 4 1/4. This one, do I need to trim it? So let's see. Like 4 1/2 for that one. Okay, that's good. And this, that's at 7 by 4 1/2. It needs to come a little thinner. And I might make this one just a little bit thinner too. Just because. Okay. Now, these alcohol ink pages. Oh, I should do one at a time. I know what will happen if I try to do 2. It won't go well. Okay, 7 1/2. Nice good scrap of that left over that we can use too. I really wish they would just not put these things on here. It's like, just use a glue seal. It's so much better. Because I do see myself using that for something. And then again with this one, I'm going to go to 9. This time I'm going to cut this off. And I'll use it for ephemera. This off. So my son has this little play group today, and I think I booked us for swimming, but I think I'm actually going to skip swimming. My daughter's not going to be happy to hear that, but I want to go out today and do some stuff. We may go to swimming, actually. I don't know. We'll see if we can fit it all in. These days just feel so busy. I feel like even though I'm not working, it's like, therefore, I somehow made myself even busier. But no, with our dog home, I just want to get him out for some good walking and make sure he feels like at home again and gets back in his routine. We had a pretty easygoing time staying with my parents. I'm gonna say I think most dogs would be happy to live with like a senior or someone who lives kind of like in the way that a senior does, and that they get to be home. I think that my Chihuahua would happily just like live with my parents if he could, because I think he likes that lifestyle of not having to deal with the kids and deal with everything. I was trying to decide what end of this I want to use. I think this one. So this is the one that needs to go to 7 1/2. And this one needs to go to 9. We will definitely use this stuff though, because it's so pretty. Nice thing is this paper I'm using, it's going to give me a lot of nice backgrounds and ephemera, so I won't have to be doing a ton of digging. Okay, now this one. This one needs to be, let's just cut this off here. I'm going to fold it this way because I want it to be up and down. and 4.5. Okay. All right, we've got a little pages cut so far for what we want to do. Then let's take a look. Okay. Start with these ones. So 2, 1, 2. Did I misjudge? Like, oh no, there's 2 there. 2, 1. Oh no, 2. I totally misjudged. I did need this one to have 6. Oh no. Yeah, we want 6, right? Because it's 3 signatures. You know what? Maybe I'll just put 1 in the 1 signature. Who says we need this to be like even? We don't. In fact, I like it better not that way. So this one we get 2, 2 and 2. So, and then I'll give one of these to this. I'm gonna put the poem in this one. And then I'll just equally distribute these pages that are a little more decorative. Okay. Boop, boop. All right, so let's just start putting this together a little bit. So this, and then maybe this, or a plain page. And then I will obviously be decorating or treating in some way the back sides of the white pages, as I typically do. I just like to kind of put my signatures together a bit. Now I need a certain kind of page for that one piece, and this one might be good, because see, this one has a hole and I like to have something cool peeking through. Maybe that, maybe not though. I might want something a little more green, like this kind of thing. Yeah, let's do that actually. So we'll take this one back out. This here, this here, this here. Okay, then I'll put this in here, and I want that to peek through it, so we'll put it this way. Yeah, I kind of like that more. Then all right, that'll work for now. This is bound to get shuffled again a couple of times. This one I'll start with this nice paper here, and then we'll go plain, then the Nat Geo, then this, I think. All right. This I want in the center, I think. So this on the outside. Maybe put the moon on the outside of this one. Okay, and we want the poem on the inside here. Then I did have a couple of pages that I want as centers. Did I put them in here? I'm sure they're like right, oh, here they are, right here in front of my face where I said they would be. So over here we'll put this, and then this one will go in the center here, and this one in the center here. So I think I'll stack these like this and just check against the spine. Hopefully I did not make them too long, and I didn't. I've got a good amount of room here, because see, I still need to put in my spine. I'm not going to have them on just this little thin spine. And that's actually the next step of creating the book, really, is creating this spine, doing these repairs. So I'll just start by doing a few little repairs. So first thing is to just unclog my glue bottle, the never-ending saga of my life. Add a little bit of glue here to get that back down, attached how we want it. Now, these, I'll keep them there, that's fine, but I really do need to just build a whole new spine for this. I'm just looking at it and trying to decide. I don't think I want to like put lace on here unless I have the right lace. Like potentially a gold or a tea dyed lace could work, but I'm thinking maybe something else entirely, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. So yeah, that's going to require a bit of thought from me. But what I will do maybe is I will get I'll put these on the front. Let's do that. Because my plan is to put them on and then afterward to do some gilding and gold paint around them. So I don't want my glue to overrun a ton here, so I'm just going to smoosh it with my finger a bit, just to make sure we don't have a bunch of glue soaring out onto the book. Even though it's art glitter glue, it wouldn't really matter. It's not going to show up shiny or anything. Let me just put this down for a second. Get the glue off my finger. Try to line it up as best I can here. You have a little bit of time to do this, not a ton, but a little bit. Okay. Then this one. Now we're just going to flatten the glue. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to come in with this gold paint and a little fine brush here. I have a finer one, but I think I'll be okay with this one. Yeah, we should be okay. Then I just want to come in around where the brown edges. Where we have a little bit of brown edges, I want to get a little gold on the book itself in just neat lines, you know, almost like we're continuing the pattern, but I'm also going to try to gild just the edge. Of the pictures. These are just the kind of quiet and fine details of this kind of thing. And it's going to look a little bright at first here, but don't worry, I'm going to make it feel a little more cohesive after I get the paint down. I'm going to kind of grunge it up a little. And this is an enamel paint. I don't know where you can get this paint. I got it secondhand. I got 2 bottles of it actually from a garage sale quite a long time ago. And I've had it for ages. I think I looked it up online and you can buy it. I need to look and see because I think I probably will need to get some more soon. The warning is it's really hard to open. It's called Liquid Leaf Classic Gold CA6110, and this one has a torn label. But it's, you know, kind of definitely an adult paint. Keep it away from people. It's corrosive and flammable and poisonous and all those lovely things. So it's not a paint for kids. It's also good to wear a mask when you're using it because it does have a bit of a smell, kind of like a marker, you know, that acetone or whatever smell. Okay, so I'm happy with this as is. I'm going to give it a bit of time, and then I'm going to add some distressing to it, because as you can see, the gold on here, while it is bright in areas, it's also a little weathered. So I need to make what I've added be relatively similar to that by inking and, you know, wetting things a little with maybe a little bit of coffee. We'll see a little bit of ink watercolor, so that we can have this look a little more cohesive, that it's not just super loud. I don't want it to be loud. I just noticed a little, oh no, it is there. Okay, I was just looking at it in the wrong light. Okay. So yeah, that is as far as I think I will get right now. But thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you're having a really good day. For those of you wondering, Tuesday 10 will be making its return shortly. I just I launched out of Christmas Day 2 yesterday on the Monday, and I did not have the energy for a Tuesday 10 today. I just wanted to, I also had all this stuff on my desk and I really wanted to get working on this journal. So that's the story for this week. But I'll be back with Tuesday 10. I need to do Tuesday 10. I've got a lot of things kind of piling up. I have a few plans for just different ways of using up a lot of scrap. Yeah, so that's it for now. Thank you and have a lovely day. We'll talk soon. Bye.